Ninjago, as of the time of filming, has hundreds of sets out, and all of them vary from vehicles to locations to mechs to anything that you could honestly desire. But still, to this very day, there are so many different Ninjago locations, vehicles, mechs, anything you desire that actually hasn't come out in physical form. Which is a massive shame, but at the same time you can understand it because they really do give us a lot of Ninjago sets every single year. In 2026 alone, we had the main Dragon's Rising line, a Legacy subline, and also the Legend sets. It is genuinely insane how much we got in 2026 alone. But again, the thing is that there's always going to be something more. So I asked you guys what you guys would actually want in a Ninjago set. What actually would you like to see, and what is your most desirable set that you do have when it does come to the show? And you guys definitely did deliver, like always. I got over 100 comments of you guys talking about the sets that you guys would actually want to see. And I would love to include all of them, but I would probably be here for hours. But what I've done today is taken a few of the best suggestions that I have seen, and talk about what those sets could actually look like, and what you could actually do with those types of sets, and present them to you guys and ask, would you want to see these for yourself? So, let me not waste any more of your time, and let's take a look at Ninjago's most desirable sets. The first one we're going to talk about, and definitely one of the more popular ones that did come from this thread, is going to be coming from James Politician. Hello, my friend. And you said, I yearn for Grand Sensei Derrick's Mojo Dojo. Now, I completely agree with this. And funnily enough, one of the channel members, and one of the longest standing ones, Grandmaster Sensei 28208, hello my friend, nice to see you, has actually put it perfectly in terms of what I would want from it, which is make it similar in vein to the Legacy 4 Weapons blacksmith shop that we got this year. Honestly, that is the perfect way to look at it. Have it around a similar kind of piece count, because you could make it work and have a really nice interior, and it definitely would function. In terms of minifigures, have Dareth in there, have some students, give us the TV version of Ed and Edna to represent the end of Season 2, and then in terms of villain minifigure, you could either go for the Bizarro Ninja or go for a Legacy Kozu. In my opinion, that is honestly a no-brainer. That is definitely one of the best ideas that we have got, and I definitely do love this concept in of itself. Honestly, this is definitely one of the best answers I've seen. Thank you very much, James Politician. And also Grandmaster Sensei for being a member. What a legend. Our second one up for today is going to be coming from 2K Coyote? I'm so sorry if I butchered that. But anyway, hello my friend. And yours was just nice and simple to the point. Shintaro. Yeah, I completely agree with this. This is definitely one of the ones that could become one of the next modulars. You know, we've had city, gardens, we've had docks, we've had workshop, we've had all of these amazing looking modular sets, but I do think moving forth, it would be really good to lean more into some of the show locations, and Shintaro would definitely be a fantastic one to do. In terms of minifigures, you could definitely then have a load of the Shintaro members that we haven't gotten before. You know, we could have a new version of Queen Vanya, we could have the guards, we could have a new version of the Skull Sorcerer. We could have so many different opportunities for this, and it would genuinely be amazing. You could have all of the Upley in there. That would be genuinely fantastic. This would obviously then line up with the other modular sets in terms of price points, being around the £300 mark, which I do think could be pretty good for a set of this scale. Seeing what they have done with that price point would give me a lot of hope, and honestly, it would be really cool to see the Ivory Towers when it does come to Shintaro in brick form. I definitely do think Ninjago is just lacking on Shintaro stuff, because the Master of the Mountain sets all focus on the underground, so this would definitely be a good way to rectify it. So yeah, I completely agree with this one as well. Thank you very much, 2K. The third one is going to be coming from the Killer BS1. Hello, my friend. And you said Legacy Cole's Tread Assault with a Legacy Scales. Now, again, this genuinely does feel like a no-brainer in my opinion. This is definitely one of the best, again, when it does come to suggestions. In Legacy form, we have received the other 3 elemental vehicles. We got Kai's bike and Zane's bike in one set, and Jay's jet in another one. The fact fact that they never reapproached the Tread Assault is honestly kind of beyond me. They could go back, give it a higher piece count, not have the snake underside for the gimmick and fully focus on the mechanics of the vehicle, and then like you said, have a legacy scales, but then also have some other legacy serpentine in there as well. You could lean into some legacy constructi, or maybe some legacy anachondri. It would be really cool to actually get these, but unfortunately they never actually went and did it. But yeah, I fully think this should be one that should be the case if we do get more legacy sets. It should have been in place of the X1. I honestly think that is one of the biggest points above all else. But yeah, this is fully one of the ones that needs to be done in Legacy, and I honestly think it's a no-brainer, so thank you very much, The Killer. The fourth suggestion is coming from Man Face Man Yes. Hello, my friend. Good name. I actually really like that name. But you said a small scale version of the merged lands. Now, I really do like this idea, and I definitely do think it's the perfect idea when it does come to Ninjago. There was another comment in this comment section that I unfortunately didn't screenshot that did just suggest doing the islands, the Light Island and the Dark Island of Ninjago pre-merge, but those are basically in the same vein. But this does go into a further point. The set that I constantly think about is that diorama of Gotham City from the LEGO DC line. Now imagine if they did that, like you said, with the merged lands, or with Ninjago, or with Ninjago City more specifically. This would be an amazing thing to have as a wall-mounted display piece. One thing that I remember a lot of people talking about with Legacy 2026 was actually the idea that you could have the stand with all of the Elemental Alliance as a wall-mounted piece. But now actually having it in hand, it's not really the best for that. So this would be the perfect way to actually do it. Imagine an actual wall-mounted display diorama and actually have it represent Ninjago. That is, in my opinion, more than worth the money, and I would immediately get it if that was something that they did. So yeah, some form of small-scale land or a location is perfect. So Man Face Man, yes, we are definitely on the same page, my friend. Thank you very much. The fifth suggestion today is coming from Ramna3. Hello, my friend, and I hope I got your name correct. Honestly, if you're anywhere familiar with this channel, you know I mess these up. But yours again, nice, simple, to the point, Crossroads. Again, this is another fantastic suggestion when it does come to the modular sets. Having the Crossroads be represented would be absolutely fantastic. Do that main type town square cul-de-sac area that we always see the ninja in, it would be absolutely perfect. The other thing as well is that this would be a perfect opportunity to give so many Dragons Rising minifigures that we have just simply not gotten yet. This would let us have the likes of Lobo, it would let us have Alfonso Frohiki, it would let us have Aaron's parents, it would let us have near enough anyone. This would be a fantastic opportunity when it does come to Ninjago sets as a whole and minifigure collectors to be specific. But again, when you look at how well they're doing with these large scale modular sets, the Crossroads will fit in perfectly, and I guarantee it would look absolutely fantastic. It also does just fit in really well with what they've got so far. So far we've got really the bulk of Ninjago City and its inhabitants around it. So having the Crossroads add on to it is basically what it looks like in the show, because it's just a suburb of Ninjago at the end of the day. So this is again another fantastic suggestion, and I definitely do agree with it. Thank you very much, Ramna. Number 6 is going to be coming from Kaka Bricks. Hello, my friend. And you said, to be honest, I'd really love a Bork's Tower set to add to the city line. I got markets, gardens, and workshops, but I would love Bork's Tower on there as well. Now, again, I completely agree with this. The thing is that there is a very tiny Borg's Tower that is on one of the modular sets, and that is fine for what it is, but the thing about Borg's Tower is that it's this huge pillar of Ninjago City in of itself, and definitely does deserve a whole lot more respect. And if they dedicated the budget of one of those big modular sets, like markets, gardens, or workshops, they could definitely do something that would be absolutely amazing. They could give the city the respect it does truly deserve. And again, think of the minifigures you could get from it as well. There is so many opportunities with having the center of Ninjago City as its own dedicated set. And I honestly think it would be one of the most popular sets that would ever actually release. Because the modular sets are extremely popular, but I don't think they've had such a slam dunk like Borg City yet. And honestly, if they did it, I think a lot of people would be getting it. Me included, honestly, because as someone who actually doesn't own any of the modular sets, it's always been something that has tempted me, but I've never pulled the trigger on. But this would definitely do it, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. So thank you very much, Kaka Bricks, this is a fantastic suggestion. The 7th set that was suggested is coming from long-time friend of the Weavy channel, Blue Jay. Hello my friend, and you said I would do a full monastery of Spinjitzu, including every ninja we've seen so far, plus Wu, Misako, and Garmadon. Now, I fully wholeheartedly agree with you on this one. The thing is that if you look at the history of monastery sets that we've gotten in Ninjago, it is certainly interesting. We got the original one from 2011, but it wasn't really much of anything. A lot of people find that one really nostalgic, and I understand why, but the thing is that it just wasn't really doing what the monastery needed to do. But then Legacy came around and gave us a fantastic looking monastery. That is one of my favorite sets to this very day, and is quite literally about 1 foot away from me as I'm recording this video. But then later down the line, they ended up doing what we got this year, which is the entrance of the monastery with all of the ninja in the character display. Now that is amazing and I love it, but imagine if they committed a very large budget to a monastery of Spinjitzu set. I'm not saying modular levels of budget, but I'm saying the kind of level that the Destiny's Bounty gets. 150 to 200 is asking a lot, but imagine the detail and the minifigures that you would get from it. Because like you said, get all of the 6 ninja, get all of the new ninja, Skylar, Little Nelson, you get all of them, and it would just be absolutely fantastic, because the extras you could also get would be brilliant. Treat it as a set to honour the 15th anniversary whip. That would be the best way of looking at it, and I honestly hope that they do it. But honestly, who knows at this point, but this is definitely one that I would immediately get. Thank you very much, Blue Jay. Suggestion number 8 is a little more open-ended, but I did want to add onto the conversation. This comes from by Christian PF. Hello, my friend. And yours was, I'm not really a set person, but it really bothers me that Frack's Season 3 Part 1 design doesn't have a minifigure yet. Maybe the scene with him, Lloyd Sora, and the puppet. Now, immediately, as someone who is a massive minifigure guy, I completely agree with you. It blows my mind that the Season 3 Part 1 design never actually made its way into any of the sets, and I honestly very heavily prefer it to the Season 3 Part 2 design. Even though I do like that one as well, I just really did wish we got that original one. But like you said, you could do something with the Dorama puppet. But the thing is that we've already gotten the Dorama puppet. So instead you'd have to look at something that we've actually not gotten yet from that respective season. And that is where it came to me. Have some form of representation of Ninjago. Now he doesn't actually go there until Part 2 in his different outfits, but this would basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Have Ninjago or some form of little small modular version of the set to actually represent the land, and then have Season 1 Frack, or Season 3 Part 1 Frack, sorry, and just have him actually go there with a bunch of other minifigures that we still yet to have, like Aracor for example. This would be a fantastic way to go into getting that location finally, and definitely would be a fantastic addition, but honestly who knows if they actually do it. But I really do like this idea, and also the concept of getting that minifigure. Thank you very much, Christian. Suggestion number 9 came from Pichu 2013. Hello, my friend. And that's a really good pick for a Pokemon. And your one was the Oni Temple from Sons of Garmadon. And honestly, this is one that I'm shocked that we haven't gotten yet. This is one that could have blended in with a lot of waves that we have actually already gotten. You could have had it in any of the Oni trilogy waves, you could have put it into Legacy, you could have put it into Crystallized. This is definitely one that would have worked really well, and definitely would have been a very nice contrast of what we've gotten so far with other sets like the Temple of Light. So this would be a fantastic one to actually get, and I definitely do think it would be a good way to get certain minifigures, such as you could have it as a Legacy version of Harumi with the Oni Mask of Hatred. You could also have a version of Lloyd in there. Maybe give us the version of Lloyd with no green eyes. This would be an amazing way to actually get some Oni minifigures as well. This is so many opportunities bundled into one, and would definitely be a really cool location set if they actually did do it. Honestly, this wouldn't even have to be that big of a set. Have it as just an open space with just really good detail around it, and I would honestly be happy. copy. So again, this is definitely one that I would like to see, and I'm glad that you did make this suggestion, Pichu. Another amazing one, thank you very much. And the last one that I have picked up for today, and is one that a lot of people are probably thinking of, and also is the reason for the thumbnail, is going to be from Warrior Dragon 75. Hello, my friend. And you said a bigger Great Devourer. Now, I like that you did specify a bigger Great Devourer, because we've technically gotten two over the course of Ninjago. We got one in the Ultra Dragon set from 2012, and we've gotten one in the New Legend sets. Now, those are both really nice looking snakes. I mean, I particularly do like the New Legends one, and I can't wait to actually get it in hand myself, because as of the time of filming, I don't own the set. But the thing is that I definitely do think a dedicated set for the Great Devourer would honestly be amazing. I'm thinking of a large scale set where you have the Great Devourer wrapped around a building from Ninjago City. This would be a really cool representation of the snake, and would definitely give him the brick piece count that he definitely does deserve. This could also just be another great way to get some Ninjago City residents. This could be a great way to introduce some new interesting looking ninja suits. It would definitely just be an all-round fantastic way to go about actually finally having a proper rendition of the Great Devourer. Like I said, there are ones that you can get that do the job just enough fine, but I do think this would be the best way to go about it, having a completely dedicated set to himself. So I fully agree, and I hope they do it one day. Thank you very much, Warrior Dragon. But those were the 10 sets that were from that comment section that I wanted to present to you guys today. And I would love to know, which of these sets would you like for yourself? Which of these do you think should be better off not actually happening? I would love to know what your guys' opinion is, because I do think it is fairly interesting to see. And I would love to also know, what do you think is one of the most desirable Ninjago sets? What is something that you would love to see that they haven't done yet? Or would you like to see them do it properly? I would love to know, because honestly, this is a fascinating subject, and it definitely does make me wonder what could be when it does come to Ninjago. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who did comment when it does come to that post. Honestly, I read through all of them, and there were so many fantastic suggestions, and I wish I could include all of them. So honestly, I would recommend, if you haven't looked at that post, go check it out. There are so many amazing suggestions there that I haven't brought up, such as legacy versions of Iron Doom, or maybe even go into having something else in similar vein to the modular set. There are just a lot of great stuff there, so you should definitely check it out. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people, and if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you could always become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Each of your support means the absolute world to me, and I truly cannot thank you enough. But like I said, that's about it for today, and take care. Okay, bye!